Namaskar and Namaskar and a very good evening to all. This is Arpita Srivastava welcoming you all to this online incubation program for women entrepreneurs and girl students under the aegis of Root to Bloom and Atmanirbhar Bharat Learning Platform with an intention to enrich and help you all to set benchmark in your respective fields. Well, the objective of this entrepreneurship development program is to increase the knowledge and skill of existing entrepreneurs and encourage others to become one. Ultimately, it helps in increasing the numbers of such individuals in an economy. And I think you truly will resonate that basically these entrepreneurs are the pioneers of bringing new technologies and system that ultimately brings change to society. These changes are associated with improved lifestyle, generates thinking or generous thinking, better morale, and a higher economic choices. In this way, social changes gradually impact nation and global change, which ultimately results to accelerating economic growth. In a way, it also promotes social change. And to understand the basic registration process of an entrepreneur has to go through, today we are very glad and privileged to have Ms. Avika Kapoor, Vice President Operation, Kapgrow Corporate Advisory Services Private Limited, as our guest speaker to throw light on the topic objectives of PAN, TAN, Udyog Aadhaar, and rest of the topics. But before I call upon her for her guest lecture, I would love to give a brief introduction of her profile. Allow me, ma'am, to give your profile reading, please. Well, as I said, Ms. Avika is working currently as Vice President Operations with Kapgrow Corporate Advisory Service Private Limited, New Delhi. She has been handling legal, HR, and management consulting division at Kapgrow. She's also a member of the Institute of Company Secretary of India and has done a PGD in HRM. She has a strong academic background and was a school topper. She has done her graduation BCom honors from the prestigious Sri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University. She has a strong sense of assessing people and situation and possesses a corporate experience of more than 15 years. She has worked in the corporate environment and understands the organization behavior, has worked in the legal, taxation, management, and corporate HR domain, and is specialist in people issues. Has her services been offering consultancy services coupled with her knowledge and experience to various corporates across the nation. With more than 18 years of experience in hand in designing and delivering learning programs, the emphasis of her training is on self-assessment, thought-provoking exercises, and a better future directions through various training techniques. She takes keen interest in research and development of workshop, keeping in mind various organization behavior and work habits of participation. She is apt at designing and delivering training in the areas of soft skills, behavioral skills, legal, taxation, finance topics, GST, women's safety, POSH, etc. She evokes a positive self-response within individuals so that they start believing in their own capabilities with her success mantra that says, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I am possible. It's just the way you look at it that matters. So now, much taking your time, let me invite Ms. Kapoor on our board. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Arpita. Right. So, has everybody joined, or are we waiting for some more people to join in?
Pradeep ji, you are on a mute.
Thanks, Arpita ji. Avika ji, you can start. No worries on that. And those who will be joining, they keep on joining with us. Most of the students, those who are registered, they are joined up to now. Please go ahead.
Okay. Right. So, from the participants, I would just like to understand a little background and what all you have already learned so that I can build up on it.
Okay.
So if anybody could give me a little brief.
let me give you the brief up to now what we have covered. This is
Right.
the fourth. This is the fourth
Yeah.
week, and up to now we have covered how to start a for any of the company, either the NGO or the LLP or the proprietorship, any kind of that particular format of the business. Secondly,
Right.
costing of the business as per the equipments and as per the working capital that we have covered. The introduction part of that been covered up to now. And today's session, we will be covering this thing about the PAN 10, because the moment they initiate this format or going for starting the company, the very second step is
Right.
they need to apply for PAN 10 and other documents which is required. So
Right. Right.
this is the format up to now we have covered. Later on, we keep on actually moving on
Right.
up to that up to the last end where we will be deciding on what exactly under the capitals also things will become. So up to now, these 2 or 3 major subsets have been cleared.
Basic starting of the organization and the registration process in a business
That's
format. That's what we broadly covered. Right. Okay. Right. So good afternoon, everybody. I am Avika, and Arpita has given you a long introduction. So we'll just start. Like you've already, if I say that we have already registered an organization or an enterprise till whatever we've learned now. Now we come to some important aspects which would help us also and would help us to keep a track of things also. Right. This is PAN number, your Udyog Aadhaar or the Utthyam registration by the government, and there are various other registrations which would be required as you go forward with a business. Everybody is comfortable with English, or should I use Hindi English mix? What is comfortable?
I think you can go with English, ma'am.
English is comfortable with everybody.
English is comfortable because some of the students or learners are joined from South India.
Okay, majority from South India, so English would work, right? So see, what we'll start with PAN. PAN, most of us know we would have our personal PAN number also, right? That is what we use for our income tax return filing and anything related to income tax. That is PAN, right? Everybody agrees to it, and all must be having our own personal PAN. What we have to do is for an organization, for an entity which we are working on, for our business, we would need a PAN number. Unless you are on a sole proprietorship where your personal PAN would be used for all your income and business purposes. In other situations, when you have a separate legal entity, be it an LLP, be it a partnership, be it your company format, you would need a PAN number which is separate for the business, right? So we need that PAN which needs to be applied to the income tax department. I'll take you through the process also for everybody's ready reckoning. But what is PAN? PAN is a 10-digit unique alphanumeric number which is assigned to an individual or an entity, which is a separate legal entity, right? We normally get a PAN card. So this is used for basically purposes related to our income taxes. When we have to pay a tax on our income, our PAN number is used. When we are getting some income from any of our customers, when they pay us, they would generally these days ask us for a PAN number and the GST number as a business when you raise your bills. Why? Because the government wants your customer to deduct tax from your income, from your payment, and deposit it with the government. So they need your PAN number to safely identify that this tax belongs to you. That is the PAN number. And similarly for GST input credits, you would need GST number. That would be covered in a separate thing. I'm talking of PAN at the moment, right? So this is why we need PAN. For anything, everywhere you generally need a PAN number, because these days it is one number which would help you in various ways. For a business, if you would go for any business, any customer, any client, you are going for a service, when they have to register you as a vendor, they would ask you for your PAN number for their record. So it is an important thing, and you should apply it immediately once you have registered your business. Even what I understand is that the Ministry of Corporate Affairs website, where you register a company format or a LLP format, that form has a facility of getting a simultaneous PAN registration as well when you are filing those documents. That facility is also available. Otherwise, we can apply for PAN on the income tax website or the UTI TSL website or the NSDL website. It's online. You have to go fill in the requisite form, fill in those details, attach those documents, uh, pay the fees, the PAN fees for the government, which is somewhere around 100 rupees or so plus taxes. Somewhere around 115 rupees is what I feel. A little here or there could be the amount exactly. You pay that online, you get a registration. These days they are very fast. They would allot you a number immediately or by the next day. And normally within 7 days or maximum of 10 days, you would get the PAN card delivered to your address which you have mentioned. That's the basic process of the PAN registration, how it happens. So that is what, and why, why it is useful for the government, because it links all your transactions, right? When you are giving, see, as a business, when you start business, you have 1, 2, 4 clients. Slowly your clients grow and you get into hundreds of customers at one point in time, right? Unless we are selling something which is the end use customer, or we are into retail, or we are opening a shop, if we are dealing with customers in terms of corporates or businesses or the government, we would have to give our PAN number to them, right? And because they are duty bound to deduct our taxes, they will deduct our taxes and deposit it as TDS with the government of India, with the income tax department, right? A 10% TDS or a 2% TDS or whatever percentage is applicable to your line of business, that would be deducted and deposited with the government of India, right? So when the government sees, say for Avika, for my PAN number, if there are 20 entries from 20 different companies who have deducted my tax from my services and paid to the government, so when they look at my PAN number, there would be 20 entries coming in. And that gives them an idea of my approximate income, because when they are filing TDS returns, they are giving how much they paid me and how much tax they deducted. So that gives them an idea of my income from these 20 transactions, right? And when I file my income tax return, they will match my income. If I say I am showing a lesser income, they will ask me why, because they've seen that business income, right? There are other ways when we have to work out the income tax return. There are certain things which to be done, but I am giving you a broader idea how the government tracks you, right? And if you have to claim a refund of the tax which has been deducted, if you're not eligible for that slab of tax payment, you would get a refund of all that tax which has been deducted once you file your income tax return based on your PAN number. So you would need a PAN in any case, right? These credits are there for your PAN number. If you do not have a PAN number, your tax would be deducted at a higher rate and you would not be able to claim credit for that also. Am I clear till now? Is there any query here?
Yeah, students, if any queries, please let us know on the chat box also. If someone is having any of the query. Madam, you can proceed.
Yeah, I'll proceed. Right. So this is what the broad, utility of the PAN number is. There are two websites. One website is for UTI Infrastructure Technology Limited, UTI TSL, and another is the NSDL, National Securities Depositories Limited websites, where we have the facility of filing online PAN. So you can log on to that, apply for PAN, and you would get it. If you are not feeling comfortable by online filing, NSDL and UTI TSL do have their offline outlets also. You would have to search those outlets, get a form, and then fill in that form, sign it, attach the documents, relevant documents, pay the fees to them at those centers, and your PAN will be processed. The online thing is faster. The hard copy, the offline thing may take some more time. So it's up to you. Both the facilities are available, but everybody is encouraging the online facilities at the moment. So you can go for that very easily.
Avika madam, I have one question actually in regard to PAN. What all those things which we can actually edit or we can change through the online mode for the PAN?
Once we have got a PAN, after that we need to edit some things, right? That is what is your question, Pradeepji? Right. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Just one thing before I proceed to that. Your Aadhaar number is these days linked with PAN in case of individuals, and in case of corporates or entities, it is for the directors or the the proprietors or partners. You need to give their PAN. This is basically to avoid misuse by various people. Sometimes people misuse the facility, so misuse can be identified and avoided. For that, Aadhaar linking is mandatory now. Right. If we feel that there are changes and if we wish to change some details, possibly, with the PAN, maybe your address has changed. That's generally your address, your contact details, your email ID, because whatever is mentioned in your PAN, the data which is mentioned on your PAN is used by the income tax department. So your phone number, your email ID which is mentioned with the PAN application is used by the income tax department for all the communication with you or for your business. So there is a possibility that you have changed your office. You were in a smaller office, you've got a good business, now you've moved to a bigger office, or you move to another city. That is possible anywhere. So you can get your address changed, you could get it edited. You need to form another form. There is a form 49A which you need to file with the requisite details, the old address and the new address, and proof of the new address. When you need to attach that proof, it could be a rent agreement or the ownership papers or something like that, which would be taken as that list will be available along with the form on the date of filing, what all is accepted. You can give that document along with it, sign it, and send it the way we did it. It is online facilities available. Like we can apply for PAN, we can apply for modifications in PAN also on the same websites. So that change or correction can be done. Possibly sometimes the name spellings are typed wrong. In my personal case, when I applied for my PAN, my name spellings were correct, but my father's name spellings were wrongly typed. That's my personal thing. So in that case, you apply for it. Immediately you file for a rectification, send a document which is saying the correct spellings, you write it to them, and they will send you a rectified PAN card. So name, spellings, your PAN number will not be changed. Everything else can be changed. Sometimes what happens is, like, especially in case of females, after marriage, your name changes. So you can apply for change of name after marriage also. You can apply for a change in name. You can apply for change in your, normal case, date of birth, they would not allow. But then if there is something, they've wrongly typed, you give them the correct proof, they will change. Your address can be changed, your any field can be changed. They would ask for requisite proofs for change. You need to give that, and that can be changed. The process is same. You go online, fill the form, submit it with the fees, whatever is required, or go to their office, offline offices which are available in various cities, and apply. That is the basic process. A caveat here, you cannot hold more than one PAN. So if by mistake you have two PAN numbers allotted to you personally or to your business for any reason whatsoever, please immediately surrender one number and use only one PAN number. Because if you are using more than one PAN, you're found using more than one PAN, you will be penalized with 10,000 rupees penalty. It is better, like if for any reason or by mistake it has been doubly issued, please surrender one number immediately in case anybody is having that. You need to just file a request for cancellation of PAN for an additional PAN number if you have any, and that will be processed by the system, and a confirmation will be given to you that that number has been cancelled. Right? But PAN and Aadhaar linking is also mandatory. If you are not doing it, you will be penalized, because now they are, when you are filing your income tax returns, they ask you for Aadhaar authentication. They send you an OTP on the number which is registered by you on the Aadhaar card. So you would get that OTP also. You should link your Aadhaar if it has not been done. For all new things, all new registrations, they will ask you for Aadhaar mandatory. Is there a question? Anybody has a question on PAN till now?
No, of course not. So I have one query in regard to multiple PANs. What all those? Suppose a person is having a limited liability company, or he is into the partnership, or he is into the proprietorship. Of course, if he or she is having a proprietorship, then his or her PAN card will do. But there are multiple entities which is either the LLP or the partnership. There will be a different PAN card for both those entities?
Yes, for all the other entities, for your business, there will be a separate PAN card, and for the partners or the directors or designated partners, whoever are there in each of the entities, they have their personal PAN cards, and for the business, there would be a separate PAN card.
Got it.
Only for sole proprietorship, if you are the owner, you would be using your PAN card for the business also. In other cases, the entity or the business would have a separate PAN card. The directors, owners, partners, whatever is the case, they will have their own individual PAN cards.
Is there any limit on? Is there any limit on that a person can be actually on the board of so many organizations? What is that particular limit so that he or she can be?
For that, for being on board, the Companies Act applies, and there is, if I remember the current limits correctly, I think you can be on the board of 7 public limited companies at one time, if I'm right.
Okay.
With the current limits, public limited, it's not the private limited companies are not included in that. So that's given by the Companies Act. From time to time, you need to check the current status. That is that limit. In a company format, your director's PAN card does not have any relevance, technically speaking.
Okay.
That way. Another thing we can identify with is like as a PAN card for people to understand. See, it is a 10-digit document number, right? So the first 4 digits are a series. Which series does it belong to? Then the 5th digit is important, which is identifying what is the status of the PAN card holder. Matlab, if it is person, if it is an individual's account, it would be saying P. In all your PAN cards, the 5th number would be P. You can check. On your personal income tax cards, PAN cards, the fifth number would be P because it is person, right? For a company format, it would be C. For a firm format, it would be F, right? So they are identified like this. So if you're applying it for C, for your company, it would be 4 numbers in the series in which it is issued, and the fifth one would be a C. That is how it is identified that it is a corporate account number or a personal account number. You can check that. That is easy. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Right. So that's how we identify this. Right. For a Hindu undivided family, if you are applying, it would be H. For association of persons, this digit would be A. For body of individuals, it would be B. For a government agency, it would be G. For an artificial judicial person other than these, it would be J. For a local authority, this digit would be L. Limited liability partnership, normal partnership, or a firm would be F. For a trust, it would be T. So this is the fifth digit list which is there. So for this, you would know. I'm sorry, this will be the fourth digit, not the fifth. Fourth one, I'm sorry. For first three are with the alphanumeric series. Then fourth is this identifier. Then fifth one is the first character of your surname in case of individuals. And in case of non-individuals, it would be the first character of the name. So if it is, say, for example, Reliance Industries Limited, so it will be R. In my case, Avika Kapoor, being an individual, it would be K, my surname. So that is how these are identified. And after that, there is a series of numbers and a digit that's system generated, which they do. So this is broadly what it is about the PAN card. If there are any queries on PAN, please ask. On the PAN card, your contact details are never mentioned. If you have seen your PAN cards, it would mention your name, your father's name, and your date of birth. In case of, and your photo and a signature. In case of corporates, it would have the company's name, the date of incorporation. That is what they would generally have on your PAN card. Any questions on PAN, or should we move to the next topic?
Please proceed, ma'am.
Right. So the next topic we have is TAN. Similar to PAN, we have a TAN, which is the tax deduction account number. Every business or any person who is liable to deduct tax at source as per the provisions of the income tax law has to apply for a TAN, which is a tax deduction account number, right? So as we have PAN and we get credit for taxes deducted on our name in PAN, similarly there is a TAN. As a business, when see, we used PAN when we were a vendor. Now when we are a customer, when we are making payments to our vendors, we would be liable to deduct tax at source from what we pay to them, right? When we pay the bills to our vendors, we would also be required to deduct tax from their billing and deposit it with the government of India as our customers did it for us. So in that case, we need an identification number so that the government could know which business has deducted this tax, right? because we are also availing services from many people. So we are also deducting tax for those people. So this TAN number is allotted to us, and we would have to quote this TAN number while we are depositing tax for somebody else for whom we have deducted TDS. Right? This TAN number is also a 10-digit alphanumeric number issued by the Income Tax Department again. So the process where we apply the PAN and we apply for TAN is more or less same. You have to go to the same websites and apply for either PAN or TAN, whatever is your requirement. And there is a form, you fill in those details, attach the documents required, upload them, and submit the fees, and it is generated and sent to you on your given mail ID, and a hard copy sent to your address. That is how it is there. So there are two things, which is TDS and TCS. If that's applicable, you would need a TAN number for it. So in the TAN structure also, we have first 4 digits, which are alphabets. Then the next 5 digits are numeric, and the last is an alphabet. It is a 10-digit number again. So here the first 3 alphabets of TAN represent the jurisdiction. That means that jurisdiction of the Income Tax Department. So if I'm applying in Delhi, it would be DEL. If I'm applying in Mumbai, it would be MUM. For Bangalore, it will be BLR. So whatever city you are applying in, whatever jurisdiction your business falls in for the Income Tax Department circle, your TAN would be starting with that jurisdiction number, 3 digits, alphabets. Then 4th alphabet here is the initial of the name of the TAN holder. So if you are a company, the first letter of your name of the company. Right? So if it is, say for example, a Mumbai TAN number for say Tata Motors, so it would be MUMT. T for Tata Motors. If it is Reliance Industries, it would be MUMR. So that is how it would be an identifier. Then there are 5 digits which are numeric, that is system generated, and last digit is again an alphabet, which is also a system generated thing, which the system has a tracking on. So this is how you identify technically that this person who has deducted my tax is in Delhi, is in Mumbai, is in this city. So that's a deduction. And because the government has to track the income tax jurisdictions, income tax circles, which have to assess our tax, who have to work on our income tax returns. So this would be, if I'm taking making any transaction with my TAN number, it will be mapped to the Delhi income tax. If you are sitting in say Chennai with CHN or whatever is the number, if the code I'm not remembering that, so for that it will be mapped to the Chennai income tax unit. That's how the system maps it. See, when we are salaried, our employer deducts our tax from our salaries also, right? So if you have ever analyzed your form 16 or the income tax website where you are getting a credit for your tax against your PAN number, when they're giving you the detail of your employer, your TAN number of your employer is mentioned with the return, that this person with this TAN number has deducted your tax. So that's how it comes. If you are looking at your business tax returns also, the tax TDS details also, which person has deducted your tax, so they would have their TAN number along with it. So where is it used? TAN is used why? Because it tracks TDS and TCS statements, right? When you are filing your, there are certain things which need to be reported. Some transactions, high value transactions, like foreign travel more than 2 lakhs, or possibly purchase of real estate or property, high spends, more than 2 lakhs on your credit cards, purchase of assets and properties, you need to quote your TAN also. If you're doing it for your business, you need to quote your PAN also, because they're all being tracked by the government, because people generally evade taxes. So all these things, our trackings are being done by the government to track incomes and taxes thereon. That is how they are there. So if you are liable to do, deduct taxes and you do not have a TAN number, you are again liable to a penalty of 10,000 rupees. So if you have registered your business, or if you're in the process of registering, make sure the next step is that you need to apply for a PAN and a TAN simultaneously. You may not need it for, say, initial 3 months or 6 months, but you would need it eventually. So it's better to have all those documents in place in time, so that at the last minute when you have to, apply for a project or apply for an assignment, whatever is your business, you do not have to run from pillar to post at the last minute. You should always have these documents and numbers with you from the beginning, because that helps you. In some places you would not be allowed to do business if you do not have a PAN number or a TAN number. For that you may lose your business. So why to lose business just for, say, 100 or 200 rupees, which is the government fees for allotment of these documents, and they're easy. So you should be applying these documents in either in the online mode or the offline mode, whatever suits you. Recommended is the online mode. So this is how you do it with PAN and TAN. Any questions till now? Gigi, please.
Yeah, Avika, I have two questions, of course. Firstly, is the fees for PAN and TAN is similar or it differs?
You have to pay fees for PAN and TAN separately. Separately for PAN, separately for TAN. It is somewhere around 100 rupees or so. I am not very sure exact amount on today, but somewhere around 100 rupees plus GST.
The similar is for the 10. Suppose 110 for the PAN, I know. Suppose 110
somewhere
or
110
is
for
it the
PAN.
same for?
Similar amount. It's
Is it
not
same
very.
For TAN also?
It is similar. I think almost the similar rates. I'm not very sure at the moment, Pradeep ji, what is the exact fees today. But it's not very expensive. Somewhere around 100 rupees or so is what it is.
Okay, okay. Secondly, once GST is in place, is it mandatory still to go to with the 10 or not?
Yes, it is mandatory.
Okay.
TAN has a separate purpose, and GST has a separate purpose. GST is tracking your indirect taxes, right? And TAN is tracking your direct tax, which is income tax related transactions. So there are two different transactions, two different taxation aspects. There are two different uses of GST and TAN and PAN. Your PAN is linked with your GST number. Your GST number contains your PAN number, because the government is tracking your income. See, as a business owner, you should know what you file with your GST department is matched with your income tax return when you file it with the income tax department. So if there is a discrepancy in your sales or turnover which you are reporting in your income tax return and your GST return, you would get a query from the department. Right? Okay, yes, you can claim legitimate expenses which are there from the income, because on GST you are reporting your gross incomes, gross sales. You would have a lot of deductions and adjustments applicable in income tax return. But the government, when they match and if they find discrepancy that your sales are underreported, you are in for trouble. So please make sure that you are not making two sets of books of accounts, which was done earlier when things were in the physical mode. Now in the online mode, you should have clear accounts, and your sales should be matching in the GST and the income tax returns which you are filing. Otherwise, you would be in for trouble and penalties. That's something which is important. You should be having in mind. Any more questions, Pradeep ji?
No, of course not. Please proceed.
Anybody else? Any of
Students,
the students have a question? You can please ask. Unmute yourself and ask, please.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, Sheetal, you're audible.
Just wanted to know a very simple question, a very maybe not so relevant now, but just as a kind of a caution.
Yeah.
PAN card is something, it's a document that you should like, be guarded about. So what
Yeah.
generally I do is I have a copy of that taken and laminated. I use that. The
Yeah.
original, I keep it safe, but sometime down the line I have lost it. And I am
Okay.
just going around with that same copy. Does it make a difference? Because it's all about a number. Am I right, ma'am?
No, you can go along with the copy, but the advice would be that you should apply for a duplicate PAN card. That's
Okay,
very
because right
easy.
now I'm
You
not
go
able
to
to
the
find
system.
it in the
No,
thing.
that's a very easy. You go online on the platform, which I told you, NSDL or
Mhm,
UTISL. You can request that
mhm,
you need request for a duplicate PAN card, and they would ask you for a reason.
mhm,
You could give them the reason
mhm,
out of the listed reasons. You could give them a reason. They may ask you for a copy of an FIR because when you've lost, you should report it. That's an important document and can be misused. So you should have a FIR copy,
correct.
file it, and they would send you a reprinted latest PAN card for your records. That's an advice. You should have your original card, though your things are being done with the photocopy which you have, but it's
Huh.
advisable to have the original because some places they may ask for original and this photocopy may not work.
Italy,
Okay, and
Yes, please.
just
because
in
what
connect
is
of this, just in connect of this
yes, sir.
discussion, uh, I was having a PAN card which I got, which lost actually some time back, and I applied for renewal of the digital signature, and there they asked a video exhibiting my PAN card. Of course, I
Yes.
was having a PAN card that is a duplicate PAN card, not a duplicate, the photocopy PAN card. But showing
Yes.
that photocopy PAN card didn't work actually for me. Then again, I
Yes.
applied for the duplicate. The moment I get the duplicate and I saw the video for that digital signature, I got my digital
Yes.
signature.
Yes. See,
So this is
a duplicate and original can be identified easily. So it's advisable that you have your
very well they
original.
can make it out. They can very well make it out whether it's an
Yes.
original one or not.
Yes. Yes. They can make it out. Anything else, Sheetal, you would like to add?
Yeah. I was just asking, ma'am, ki like the reason mainly I did not apply for another duplicate one was maybe I'll find the original one somewhere lying. Then I will have two of them. Then what
that
happens?
that no, see, you are asking for a
That was
duplicate card. You are not asking for a fresh PAN number. Please ensure that you not apply for a
yeah.
fresh PAN number. You have to apply for a
Uh-huh.
lost card, for a duplicate card. So that would not make a
Yes.
difference if you have two cards.
Okay. Fine. So even if I find the original one which was lost sometime back, that also
Huh.
is fine. And then I have
Yes,
two cards,
because
but
it
the
would have the
PAN
same
account is the
details. See, your name, your
same.
father's name, your date of birth would be the same.
Yes.
So it is the
Yes.
same thing. So that would not make a difference. If you wish to apply for duplicate, you can apply for a duplicate card. That will not make a difference if you are able to find the old one at some point in time later.
Okay, but you should have in possession of a original card, not a copy
You
that you
should
go
have,
around
like
with.
Pradeepji just gave us an instance.
Huh.
In certain
Exactly.
things where you have to apply, the government authorities will not take your duplicate card, your photocopy laminated card as original, and they will not process your requests. So
Okay.
you should have
Okay. Correct.
the original one.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else has a query or a suggestion?
Just just uh, just to relate actually, this
Ji.
is my PAN card, which is very one. This is the first PAN card, and the number remains the same.
Yes.
I applied for the duplicate one. The number remains the same. Only thing is, I get my second card. That is what.
Yeah. That is the only thing, because the things are the same, so that doesn't make a difference. Just make sure that you do not apply for a new one. Then you would
No,
have two numbers and that will be creating a problem. that is technically an offense. Anything else? Any other questions?
No, of course not. Please move forward now.
Okay, next we have on agenda is the Utthyam registration, or which we used to call as the Udyog Aadhaar. Earlier it was Udyog Aadhaar. Now the government has made everything online, and it is the Utthyam registration now. So this is what the government is giving a facility to the medium, micro, small and medium enterprises, right? We understand what are small enterprises, medium and micro enterprises. So as per the definition, a micro enterprise is an enterprise where investment in plant and machinery or equipment is up to 1 crore rupees only, and their turnover does not exceed 5 crore rupees. So you are a micro enterprise there. A small enterprise is where the investment in plant and machinery or equipment does not exceed 10 crore rupees and the turnover does not exceed 50 crore rupees. And a medium enterprise is where the investment in plant and machinery and equipment does not exceed 50 crore rupees and the turnover does not exceed 250 crore rupees. So up to these limits, you would be eligible for the benefits which is being given by the government to the micro, small and medium enterprises. Right? If we cross these limits, we are not eligible for these benefits, especially given to the small and medium enterprises, but we would be at par with other businesses beyond these limits. So their registration is something different. So there is a facilitation registration process by the government, which is Utthyam registration. UDYAM. Utthyam is an enterprise, Hindi word for enterprise. That registration, which is 100% free of cost on the government website. There are some people who have made some fake websites. If you write Utthyam registration, they are paid sites where you would, they will take you, initial results would come for that also. So be very careful when you are going for Utthyam registration. Go to the website of the Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises only. On that website, this is totally free registration. On other websites, they will charge you their fees. They are consultants or mediators who would take your details and then they would file for your registration on the same government website, but they will take their charges. So it's up to you. If you want to get a facilitation from somebody, you pay them fees and get that registration. If you can do it on your own, because you have to upload your documents and give the details of your business which you are owning. So general case, you should be able to do it. You go to the government website, fill in the details, get it done online, free of cost. Please mark my words. Only the government Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprises department website is free of cost. For other consultants, it is paid. So it's your call where you take it. For the Utthyam registration, this is a permanent registration number which will be given to you, and no renewal is required for this during the lifetime of the enterprise. Right? Like you have a PAN number given to you once in lifetime. Similarly, a Utthyam registration will be given to you once in lifetime of the enterprise initially. There is no renewal process. Once you complete the process of registration, you would get an online certificate of registration from the government, which would have a QR code, which gives the details of your enterprise on the website of the Government of India. Right? There is a single window clearance. If you need help, there are control rooms and help desks from the government ministry. You can seek their help. No fees or costs are to be paid to anybody in the government or any of their help desk for this registration. Private consultants will charge you fees. You need to give your Aadhaar number. PAN and GST linked will be required because they are linked to your business. So when you have all these numbers registered, very easily your business can be tracked, and you can get all kinds of benefits from the government, because government comes out with a lot of policies to the small, medium and micro enterprises. You give they give you benefits, they give you exemptions, they give you priority sector lending, business loans on priority basis if you have these registrations as MSMEs. So this gives you that benefit. This Utthyam registration number is fully integrated with the income tax and the GST network. So all your details will be accessible by the government there. So you cannot lie that your investment is this or that your turnover is this. The government can track it from your income tax and the GST returns. So this is for Utthyam registration is for new businesses. You may be an old enterprise where you may have a EM2 which was given earlier to industrial enterprises, or you may have a Udyog Aadhaar UAM which was called. So if you have that, there is a system on the website that if you have that old number, there is a option, you click on that, register using old UAM or EM2. You click on that option and then it takes you to those details. You mentioned those numbers and your details would be reflected on the system. And whatever additional details are required by the system, you fill in that and you get a registration. That is how they work. The important point for registration is that an enterprise can get only one Udyam registration. However, you can list multiple services or products for your business. It is not that for one business you need to have, one product you need to have one Udyam registration. You would have one Udyam registration for your organization, and you can list n number of products which you are offering or n number of services you are offering. And for example, today if you are registering, you have 10 products. Say 2 years down the line, those number of products becomes 20. So you can amend this and add those 10 more products to the list and it becomes 20 products to your Udyam registration. It is the same registration number. Is it clear? Am I making sense?
Yeah. Can we edit on that MSME Udyog Aadhaar card?
I didn't get you. Your voice was breaking. Could you please repeat the point?
Can we edit on this Udyog Aadhaar card which you got through MSME?
Yes. If you have edit should be available. Edit would be available.
Okay. And one more question. Yes. Suppose an entity is doing multiple things at one place. So and if they are changing their addresses, so will they be going for a separate Udyog Aadhaar card, or that remains the same?
See, if you have the same entity, it will be the same. If you have different entities, they will be different.
Okay, so address can be multiple, but entity is one. That is what you are actually saying.
Yes. See, if you have ABC Limited and you have a lot of businesses under ABC Limited, but the name is ABC Limited only, you have 20 divisions, no problems. But if you have ABC Limited, then BCD Limited with CDE Limited, and then each of them would have a different Utthyam registration.
Okay, but suppose the address, there is a variation in change in the address, then
change in address, you can get it updated. No, the updation of records is available, like in PAN also. If you are having a change in address, you can change get it updated on the system. In Aadhaar also you can get your address changed. Similarly, in the Utthyam registration certificate also you can get it changed.
Okay. Got it.
Any other questions?
No, of course not. Others can also speak, or others can also ask for that if they have any queries.
Madam, any change, will there be a fees to be paid for any changes in the address or business format?
Sir, for PAN and TAN, yes, a fees is applicable. For Utthyam registration, no fees is applicable for the initial registration or any changes in your details. At the moment, this is the status. It is free of cost.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions?
If you can explain on the usage of this Udyog Aadhaar card, how exactly
Yes,
this?
I am coming to this. See, this registration is helping you in various ways. If you are having an Udyam registration, you can register yourself on the government e-marketplace. You know, the GEM portal. The government of India is using this GEM portal for putting out their requirements. The governments, the state and the central governments are using this GEM portal for online tenders, online requirements floating. Right. So if you are registered there, you can always bid for those products and services which are being required by the government departments. And the opportunities are huge there. You understand, the government of India these days is encouraging vocal for local, encouraging local enterprises, Indian enterprises. Plus, they have a mandate. If you are aware that the central government has mandated that the government departments, the government ministries have to procure some percentage of their requirements from only MSMEs. That is there in the government mandate. So they have to take it from MSME. So if you have a Udyam registration, you are an MSME. If you are registered on government e-marketplace, they can contact you, or when they float requirements in your product line or your service line, you can always bid for, or apply for that tender or that requirement of the government and compete with other enterprises. If your product quality is good and you are giving them the lowest rate, or their whatever is the process of selection, if you qualify, you get that business from the government. That is a very big thing for a small enterprise. When you get government business, you get a lot of exposure, right? They also have a Samadhan portal which addresses issues relating to payment. So if you have given your services or your products to a government department through the GEM portal, and if there is a delay in payment, or if there is an issue in payment, you could raise it on the Samadhan portal and your things would be simultaneously settled. On this GEM portal, if you're making, everything is online. The order you bid online, you get the order online, you raise invoices online, send them on the system itself, and you get online payments. So there is nothing, no interaction with the government officers face to face, nothing required, everything online, everything system driven, nothing required by you to be done, or any kind of bribery or anything needs to be done. It's all system driven. So you get that kind of a benefit here, which is a huge benefit in terms of getting your business. from the government. Also, if you have an Utthyam registration, you would get, the MSMEs would get help in availing benefits under the schemes of the government and the Ministry of MSME. Like you get a credit guarantee scheme. From the public procurement policy, the government has a policy of procuring certain percentage of its items from the MSMEs only. So you can avail that benefit from the government. Right, you get an additional edge in the government tenders and protection against delayed payment, as I told you, through the GEM portal. You also get eligible for priority sector lending from banks. So the government has mandated many banks, as per their policy, to give priority to businesses run by MSMEs. Right, in addition to agriculture, exporters, education. So there are certain categories which are the priority sector lending. So MSMEs also fall under the priority sector lending, where the government of India has mandated the banks to give them priority in giving loans for their business and ensuring that they get timely outflows of cash and business for running their business from time to time. So these are the major benefits. Also, as per the Act, MSME Act, if you are not dealing with the government but you are dealing with the corporates, they have to settle your payments within 45 days. And if they are delaying beyond that, they have to report in their annual accounts, which are audited and submitted with the government, that they delayed in payments to the MSMEs, and the reason for the delay is also supposed to be mentioned. So as an MSME registration, it gives you a lot of benefits. You get easy payments, faster payments from your clients, and you get benefits from the government also. Any questions here?
Not such.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, this Udyami account number that you've said, it applies to any and every kind of a business? I mean, just asking again, because there would be something that would be left out. Because you said it's there in education.
A micro, small and medium enterprise, and if you are qualifying in that turnover and investment category, you can apply. There is no exclusion, technically speaking.
Okay, ma'am.
This means, madam, if suppose an entity is there, if they are starting a fresh, that is, they don't have any turnover, that is zero turnover, then also they can apply?
They can start, see, they can apply as a Udyam, as an enterprise, unless you are, if you have, taken the benefit under the startup scheme, and if you are registered as a startup under the government startup scheme, then you do not get this benefit. You get benefits under the startup scheme. Otherwise, if you are starting a business, even when you are starting, you would have a zero turnover normal case. You would start small, build up. So you can get the registration initially. That is not a problem. You would have made some investment, right? You do not have a turnover, but you would have made some investment in the, if you are into manufacturing, some plant and machinery, or some kind of an infrastructure you would have started with. So you can mention all those details, and whatever details they're asking on the system, you need to put that, upload it or fill in that data, and it will be processed. If they have queries, they will revert to you on mail or something, that they need some more data or something, then you need to fill that up.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Not such, I feel.
Pradeep ji, I had these topics. Any questions? Anything anybody wants to ask?
Yeah, please.
I'm
If somebody is having any of the queries, please let us know, or we will move for the closing of the day. So thanks, Avika ji, for supporting us and for giving enlightenment session and discussing on how this PAN, TAN, and of course the uses of these cards. Not only the uses, where we can apply on, what can be the other detailings which is required for these PAN cards and TAN cards, and additionally how beneficially is this Udyog Aadhaar card is for all those young entrepreneurs, those who are actually starting their businesses, and of course, using the government support, the policies of those governments and all, how this has been inclined towards the startup too. So this was very beneficial and much needed. That is why we incorporated this particular session today. Thanks, and
Right.
I do agree that the way Rupert Ramaraj is saying that it was really a very informative session. Thanks for that. Over to Arpita ji.
I must thank on behalf of our team to Ms. Avika Kapoor for such an enlightening session. Ma'am, it was the need of the hour, I must say, for all the women entrepreneurs who must be listening to you or the future entrepreneurs, because this is something that is called the basic knowledge that one needs to go through about it. So thanks once again from all of us for being with us and sharing your valuable insight with us. And well, as you all know, we all need our support system to be successful in life. And that's how I say that I am lucky to have a very good, great support system. And my support system is very simple. That is my team members and my people and time. So hereby, let me thank all my supporters who are the pillars of the team. So first, I would like to thank the founder and director of the Prakramika Vocational Institute, Dr. Gayatri Narsimhan, Dr. Mandakini Shukla from Hasna Foundation, Mr. Somnath Mishra from SAT Digital, myself, Director, MindCube Multi-Services Private Limited, Impulsive Training Sector, Ms. Akshya Narsimhan, and thankful to our organizer, Route 2B and Voice It Out, for organizing this incubation and the social media support of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Vocational Learning Platform, and a very talented, supportive, creative team of Impact who is assisting us in our all the flyers. And I'm very happy to say that these are the special kids who are doing this fabulous work with us for our creatives. And last not the least, we are also thankful to the University of Avinash Lingam for their support in our incubation program. And rest, I would need to close this session. And today I will be closing this session with one of the famous quote that I would love to share is from Oprah Winfrey when she says, for the women entrepreneurs, follow your passion. And if you don't know what it is, realize that one reason of your existence on earth to find it. Till then, stay tuned for the another session. Till then, goodbye, take care, stay blessed. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone.
Thanks to all. I'm closing for the day. Tomorrow we will be having a session on gem and eat and drink, which I will be taking on. Thank you.
Thanks.